All right, boys, it is time for us to actually get into the episode called Trust Fall, which is crazy because there was no trust fall happening in this episode at all. And the actual clip for the next episode looks like that's going to be the trust fall. So yeah, we start the episode off with Jon Stewart not being aware of his surroundings. Because you know how Jordan comes in. This is a scene where our first line of dialogue is "What the?" Because this is an edgy show, ladies and
Yes.
gentlemen. This is an edgy show.
Yeah, we get a lot of swearing in this episode. A lot of F-bombs. But for the sake of there being F-bombs.
You guys remember when Titans was coming out and everyone dunked on how they were swearing and it was really corny? It's like that.
Yeah.
Hal's like, hey, it's like, what's the deal? And he's like, all right, you're gonna fly today. And he gives him the ring, and he's like, well, how do I do it? And he's like, well, I'm a pilot, so I just know how to do it. I think fly, and it happens. So then Jon Stewart's like, all right, and he braces himself, and this is the scene where we get the fun fart gif, where it looks like he releases a big old toot. And he doesn't go up. He doesn't fly because he doesn't know how to fly because he has been given, maybe to our knowledge, this is probably the second time that he's worn the ring. The first time was when he was thrown off of the cliff in the car and he used the construct to make bubble wrap, which we didn't see. So this is the second time that we believe that he's used the ring, and he doesn't know how to fly because he doesn't know. This is a foreign concept to him. And something that Hal tells him to do is just think flight. Think flight. And what ends up happening is that Jon Stewart is able to create a perfect bird construct. A little bird construct that just flies around. And it's so perfect and special that even when he's not wearing the ring, the construct stays around.
So yes, everything Tom just said is on the money. And yeah, so Jon Stewart can't fly, but he is able to conjure this birdie, which then as he takes the ring off, the birdie is still around. And so Hal says, you gotta, for your mission on this episode, you need to keep that construct active. And the only way you could keep it active is if you concentrate on it. So we're using Dungeons and Dragons rules. You must continue concentrating to keep the spell active. But he goes unconscious twice in the episode.
I was about to say there's multiple times where he should have broke concentration and that bird should be gone. But yes. I don't think that's how the ring works.
That's right. No, it's not. They invented that.
You need the ring to make the constructs, with your willpower, right?
That's right.
So if you don't have the ring, and it doesn't matter how much willpower you have, it's not going to stay around because you don't have the ring. And like Tom mentioned, the ring loses power, so the construct should be gone.
Totally depowered.
Make any sense?
Now the reason they do this birdie thing is to set up that at the end of the episode, Jon Stewart confronts Hal and says, you told me that I wasn't strong enough to fly with the ring. You told me I wasn't strong enough to fly with the depowered ring, but those aliens back there told me that I'm special because my little birdie stuck around, and look how strong my birdie was. I'm stronger than you because my birdie existed when I wasn't even wearing the depowered ring. By the way, I kill the birdie myself. And he literally does crush the birdie.
Yeah, he kills it.
Just to make a scene and just to be edgy.
But it's also another thing that really is so stupid. Okay, all right, dude. So this is why writing is important. This is why it's important. You tell me that in order for this bird to stay around, I have to focus on it, right? Okay.
Yes.
Let me use your logic. That's what we have to do. If you go unconscious, not once, not twice, I think it was about damn near 3 times, and the 4th time he was concentrating on that granny's coochie, so he wasn't thinking about the bird. The bird should be gone. That's just what it is.
There's also multiple days of travel. So he slept in between the traveling.
What this scene sets up is that the episode's plot for Jon Stewart is that he needs to go and get the lantern so Hal can power up the ring because it's at 5% battery.
Yeah.
So his quest for this episode is that he's got to go to Hal Jordan's house to get the lantern and bring it back. And so this episode, they're split up, and they have their own mission that they're on. So where Jon Stewart is going to get the lantern and runs into aliens, Hal Jordan is investigating the crime scenes and the bodies, and he's trying to figure out what's going on in Nebraska. And it leads to this really, really dumb scene, because we just pointed out that right now this has been multiple days worth of things that have happened. I would assume it's probably been about 3 days, 2 to 3 days since the incident happened. And Hal goes to the
shooting?
since the shooting. It's probably been 2 to 3 days. Hal goes to the thing, and he notices metal detectors, and that's his whole focus on the episode. Is he goes, oh, there's these metal detectors, and he's weird. It didn't work when he was going in, which would just be like, oh, well, they probably shut them off because everyone left.
Off. Nobody's here.
Nobody's here.
I saw that. I'm like, why is this the thing you're fixated on? It's like, oh, the metal detector didn't go off when I walked through. I don't know, man. Maybe it's because everybody went home.
So,
but instead, he has a Jimmy Neutron brain blast that, wait a minute, these metal detectors may actually be for aliens.
yeah, so let's time out there. Let's just envision this, if you will. A football stadium where there's metal detectors going in and out, but they're secretly not metal detectors. They look like metal detectors, but they're alien detectors instead. And the only place we're going to put them is the football field. Well, also, if he walks through with the Green Lantern ring, why does it not detect the alien Green Lantern ring?
So they had it in the metal detector at the stadium, but then also the detectors. No, it was in the courtroom too.
They had him
and
which
so
makes
it is
it
set
worse.
Up. Yeah,
because you have fake metal detectors, right? So the metal detectors are only detecting aliens. So do you not think that some regular person would be like, hey, man, why do they have all these broken-ass metal detectors all around town? Like, I'm just able to walk into the courtroom with my gun. Metal detector didn't even go off for real. It doesn't make any sense. It's stupid.
And also, how does Hal figure out, like, hey, the metal detector doesn't work? And why is his first thought go to, it's an alien detector? Like, I understand he tries to get it to work with metal and it doesn't work, but then it's just like, my big brain is working. That's an alien detector.
Why is his first thought to rip off the grill of the car and bring it through?
Like, you couldn't find
he takes a metal pipe, rips off the metal grill, and he has just like metal going through.
Wait,
and
is that what he did? So he has
he's got a metal bar.
He has a tire iron. He could just walk in through the metal detector with the tire. See, this is what I mean by you're just making him to be an because later on in the episode he's like, hey, you're gonna have to check out that insurance policy. It's like, you didn't have to do this.
Tire irons are heavier. That grill is mostly plastic.
It's Toyota. It's mostly plastic.
It's mostly plastic and a little bit of aluminum.
Yeah. The way
You're
he
holding
drives,
a tire iron.
So he drives and he like pseudo parks in the middle of the road. Hey, all of his actions are like a child.
Yeah, he's like a dickhead for like.
He's
and
like,
Hal Jordan, smooth operator sometimes has like these little, he could be a little dickhead. I get it, but like, god damn, dude,
they make him a dumbass
while trying to pretend like he's smart. Like, oh, it must be an alien detector because my gut's never wrong. Even though I landed here some like 30 years ago and never figured out what the was going on, my gut's never wrong.
This is evidence. This is evidence that this is a show that thinks it's smart, but it can only be as smart as the person writing it, and the person writing it is an idiot. So you get a stupid show.
Yeah, and then he drives, he like parks in the middle of the road and he's like, there's no one here. And then he goes to the town hall meeting. Oh yeah, and there's a really derpy scene of him flying.
Yes. Yeah, so he flies up, the town is empty, and then they all are at the town meeting. So let's go interrupt the town meeting. He walks in. It is extremely obnoxious. He's obnoxious. Captain Sheriff Girl Boss is Captain Sheriff Girl Boss. Everybody who thought she was going to be a Girl Boss character, surprise, surprise, she is. He sits down. His lawyer comes and sits next to him and says, hey, you can leave town now. because like I got the judge to throw out your case despite the fact that the same judge hit you with a $200,000 bailout. So you had to so we paid $200,000 for you to get out on bail, and then they dropped your case?
And it's like,
Somebody call the
okay,
local news, dude.
that's
Somebody
suspicious.
get a new lawyer. We're suing the state.
Not only is that suspicious, it's very suspicious. You come up to me and say, "Yeah, you can leave now." Like,
Yeah.
oh, well, that's not suspicious at all. You know, it's like the entire interaction doesn't feel organic. It feels like a way to make Hal Jordan go, "Oh, there's definitely something going up with these guys. I got to go figure that shit out." You know, it doesn't work.
And it's supposed to be a fun scene. It's supposed to be a fun, awkward scene for you to go, oh, this is quirky. Oh, this is fun. Look at him, he's so goofy. And then he gets a call and he's like, I gotta go take this.
So what happens there is Hal leaves the meeting after Sheriff Girlboss gives a girl boss, you're a piece of garbage. He leaves. He goes to the morgue and drags out all of the alien bodies. And then that's when we see alien hog and balls, and he drags them, puts them in the car.
Before we continue, like I'm from the South, right? I've been in small towns. If you're doing this kind of thing that they're doing where they're having a town hall meeting, that doesn't mean that literally everyone in the town is at the town hall meeting. There would still be people around. Like you would not take people out of the hospital to go to the town hall meeting. You wouldn't take people out of the morgue to go to the town hall meeting, so he's just walking around willy-nilly carrying bodies to his car.
The people going to a town hall meeting, you see, that's the problem. The people writing this don't actually know what a small town USA town looks like. They don't know. They've never been to one. They've never taken one seriously. They've never lived in one. They've never spent time in one. So they wouldn't be able to actually write it that well. This show makes you think there's about 100 people living here. And even if there was 100 people living here, they're not all sitting at the town hall meeting. This isn't South Park, you dumbasses.
Who's watching the kids?
What they're trying to portray reads more as like this is a town in Alaska that has 20 people. It's not believable.
Yeah, right. That's actually exactly right. And if it goes into the thing of this town is basically under control of the Manhunters or whatever, and most of these guys are alien or maybe, something. If you start doing things like that, then it will make more sense. But I seriously doubt that's where it's going to go. So it just comes off as awkward, like very awkward. Hal Jordan is taking dead bodies out of the freezer.
And he's driving them over to basically walk through the metal detectors to confirm they're not metal detectors, they're alien detectors.
Yes.
Which also I would argue, do you think that it would still be able to scan if it was alien, if it's a dead subject?
Yes, because it would be these alien detectors that cannot scan alien Green Lantern rings still have the ability to scan alien DNA from physical aliens. So it can only scan, and this is me projecting here, it can only scan life form organic life form DNA, which we need to make sure is well known. So Hal Jordan takes the dead bodies, drives to the football field, and does the scan, and then that's when he realizes, like, his hunch was proven correctly. These are alien scanners. At the same time that's happening, Jon Stewart has gone to Hal Jordan's house via plane. Little green birdie is still floating around. He goes through his closet, and Jon Stewart is sent on the mission to go and retrieve the actual power battery, or they call it the lantern here, so that Hal Jordan can charge it up. Now, this opens up a series of questions. We kind of talked about this with episode 1 last week. Why doesn't Hal carry that?
Well, because if he had it around, we wouldn't have this subplot of Jon Stewart going to his house to get the battery.
What? I mean, just think about that. They kind of set it up in episode 1 like it might be connected to Hal not backing up his consciousness, or maybe there's a reason that maybe they wanted you to. That was a mystery box in episode 1. Why doesn't Hal Jordan have his lantern? The guy that explodes makes a big point of that. It's a hinted at thing that goes absolutely nowhere. Turns out that mystery box, again, like all mystery boxes, are never going to be satisfying, never going to be more satisfying than what you can come up with. And in this case, Jon Stewart goes to this mansion. Now, guys, did you catch it? Because I didn't catch it. Why does Hal Jordan have a mansion?
So it was a gift from somebody that he saved, and that's why he's got so it was a gift for, I believe, saving someone's son, was what he said.
Oh, so another mystery box.
Well, it's just supposed to be, that is a don't think about it.
He's like, I've had this house for 8 years.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
Okay, sure. And obviously, Jon Stewart wants to be the Green Lantern, and he has these physical suits that should not exist. They should not be here.
Exist. Yeah.
They should not be here. Okay, I don't give a. Oh, early in the old comics, they had physical suits. The common thing with Green Lanterns and what is known is that the suit is a construct. Okay, I don't want to see these ugly. And then on top of the fact, they're ugly. They're ugly. It's not even green. It's doo-doo brown.
It's doo-doo brown.
It's doo-doo brown.
So yeah, he's doing the whole, oh, do you need me to bring you your suit? And he's like, at least you could, if you could tell me how to take a piss in the damn thing. It's like, oh, okay, here we go. Some more. Hey, this is some cool dialogue. He's making jokes about peeing. Awesome.
The suits are stupid. They're impractical. How are you supposed to use the bathroom? Yeah. Fun.
It's supposed to be a construct.
It's fun, witty dialogue.
How come, every time we see Green Lantern take off the ring in the comics, the suit goes away instantly? But here he has to physically put it on because they wanted to lecture to you that the suits are stupid. Like, just think about it that way, right? Like, they went out of their way to continually on the suits because they want you to think that they're stupid. They want you to know that they think that they're stupid.
That's why it looks like that. They want you to think that the suit looks like That's why.
Because suits are dumb. They don't need suits. They can just fly on their own.
Oh, but did you guys notice they did a little lore thing? For you Green Lantern fans, they brought up Mogo. They brought up Mogo because that's his catchphrase for the
opening the box
dimension. He's like, I think it was Mogo doesn't show emotion, which
Mogo doesn't.
I don't know who that is. That's a planet Green Lantern. It's a huge planet that is a Green Lantern. So hey, I guess they do care about the little source material when it's convenient. Weirdos, dude.
Jon Stewart gets kidnapped.
He does.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so he gets the lantern. So Jon Stewart in front of Hal Jordan's house is attacked, captured, knocked out. And again, we talked about this before. The little birdie doesn't disappear, despite the fact he has lost concentration.
Yep, he's lost consciousness, and for some reason, the bird's still there.
Yep.
And they never even said who these aliens are, by the way, that have kidnapped Jon Stewart. So we have no idea who they are. All we know is that they are after the Manhunters. So yeah, take that. So Jon Stewart obviously gets up pissed because he wants his bird. He's like the dude from Iron Man 3. He's like, I want my bird.
Where is my bird?
Where is my bird?
Whiplash.
I want my bird.
Yeah. So, he gets in a fight with these aliens, which later on say that they weren't going to torture him and that they didn't want to harm him. So, they could have de-escalated a little bit there, to try to do something. But no, if they did that, then we wouldn't get our car chase scene where Jon Stewart, like the genius that he is running into oncoming traffic instead of running with traffic.
And kind of like Jean Grey definitely is going to be responsible for deaths with how fast they're going and the way that these collisions, like they show these collisions are heavy.
Yeah,
there definitely were people in that who died.
Yeah, you got some injuries there.
You're gonna tell me frail grandma behind the? Oh no! You're gonna tell me she survived that? I don't think so. I don't think so.
No. Speaking of not surviving, can I back this up a little bit? Can I get it to where it happens for Jon Stewart?
Oh, where he gets hit by the truck?
Yeah, so speaking of people not surviving, so Jon Stewart gets his bird.
Oh, yeah.
And then this van skirts and smacks him in the face. And it's like,
yeah,
bro, you just broke almost every bone in his body.
Done. He's done. He's done, but it's okay. Barely a scratch, barely an inconvenience.
He's out of there, bro. He gets knocked out again right here.
This is now the second knockout, back to back. Okay, so if we fast forward a little bit, Jon's captured once again, wakes up in an abandoned office building.
Oh, no. That's after this. Remember where him and the sheriff go to the cowboy farm,
So Sheriff Lady goes and forces Hal Jordan to pull his car over. She sees that he has the dead bodies in the back of his car, stinking up the car, and he's driving around with the windows up.
They're leaking. They make a point to
They're
show that they're
literally-
leaking goo. They are leaking
Yes.
alien goo, is what he says.
Yes.
So he's
That is
driving with
correct.
three
three
windows up.
corpses that are leaking alien goo, and he's just puffing in the fumes.
He's like, this reminds me of Nam. That's
Sheriff lady pulls him over and says, you can reduce everything this woman says in this show down to, I'm Sheriff Girl Boss. You need to listen to me because
Literally.
I'm Sheriff Girl Boss. Stop existing in my town or this show, actually. You should just get shot in the head.
reluctantly, she's like, I will take you to Ram Ranch. You
But
know?
I'm gonna do the talking.
I'm gonna do the talking. This is my town. I work way too hard to get this position because I'm a woman and I need to be in charge. So stop undermining me, white man.
Hey, I'm the sheriff here. I'm the sheriff here, Green Lantern. I know there's aliens and people getting murdered in this town, but I'm the sheriff. This is my town.
They go to Ram Ranch, and then you have Hal Jordan here, who's questioning the cowboys, those cowpokes, about what's going on there, and he basically goes, oh, the older guy, it was a blinking you miss it moment. He basically goes, he has a benefactor who pays for the ranch. Why would you say that?
Yeah.
Like, there's
Well, they
literally
admitted it last
no
week as well.
reason. Did they? That was another thing I
Yeah.
forgot then. I could just see the
Yeah, they
dialogue,
admitted
so
it last week
I don't remember.
because he says some dumb shit like, "Hey, we have a benefactor, but I can't tell you who it is because I signed an NDA." And then they basically do the same song and dance again this week, where Hal Jordan's like, "Hey, I'm gonna talk over Captain Girl Boss. You could tell me who you're like, just throw away your NDA. Tell me who your benefactor is, because I went to the football field and I saw that there were alien detectors." And then JD Vance here says, "Yeah, so I told you I'm anti-colonization, like I'm anti-alien. I'm gonna shoot you if you don't leave." And then Hal Jordan says, "I'm not gonna leave. I'm gonna keep asking you questions." And then JD Vance says, "Shoot him." And he says, "No, you're not gonna shoot me. I'm gonna boom." And then he gets shot. And then that's it.
Which was
Yeah.
so dumb because it's like, you're putting yourself in such an unnecessary position right now. You know for a fact you don't have any charge in the ring, and you're trying to call the bluff. So first of all, wait, let's go back to last week where you were like, oh, you're a rural Nebraskan, right? So you know that these people believe in private property laws.
Yes.
You're American. You know all about private property laws. You know, if they say that you got to go, you are now trespassing. And this man
Yes.
has a small militia and your ring does not work. Why in the holy would you ever even try to test that theory when you see that these are cowpokes?
Yep.
That doesn't make
That's
any
right.
sense. It makes you a stupid character because you just last week admitted that you know exactly where you are. So why would you then test the rules of the place of where you are?
And then
Well,
he acts surprised about it too.
Yeah, he's like, oh, they shot me. Duh! You're trespassing on cowboys' lands. They have machine guns. What did you
He
think was going
points-
to happen?
He points out a sniper tower and is like, "They're gonna shoot any trespasser."
He's like, you were here, because I wanted you here, but now you're no longer needed, so you have to go. He's taken away your permission to be on his property. Like, what
Despite the
fuck
fact
did
that
you think would happen?
this is also the guy that this is the guy that put up $200,000 to bail Hal Jordan out just so that Hal could confirm that they were. This show is so stupid.
And
Wait.
this is the same guy that knew that Jon Stewart gave it to his lot lizard wife.
So this guy paid $200,000 to get Hal Jordan out of jail so that Hal Jordan could confirm that the guy that was arrested was an alien, despite the fact they have the alien detectors to get into the football field.
I think the implication with
there was a
Dipper
line.
Dipper Pine's lawyer, because that's who it is that they worked it out. When, like, hey, it's taken care of, you're good to go.
But there was a
Wait.
line. The Sheriff Girl Boss did say that, it didn't work when he went through the metal or the alien detector, which that's a stupid
Why?
line because how does that work? This is very advanced technology. Even Hal Jordan himself says he doesn't see technology like this, and he's been all over the galaxy. So there's no way that it wouldn't have worked on picking up him as an alien.
Yeah, she knows there's aliens in the town. She knows that there's alien detectors in the town. She's aware of things that are going on, but she makes a point to be like, you being here is a problem. You need to let me take the lead because this is my town and I'm the sheriff. You going in is making him more powerful because people are going to look up to him. Lady, there's aliens invading the town. The people
Who gives
should
a
be
shit about the
worried.
town?
Lady,
cares?
people just not only did people just get shot at a football
high
game,
school
at a
football
high school
game.
football game, one of them just blew up the police department. Yeah, they're gonna
That's
be like,
another thing. Wait, you would think the town would be more on edge. There was a f***ing explosion
There's a
at
bomb.
at the police
And
station.
she's-
Some people were shot at a high school football game, and they're just at the rally, like, "Hey, so,
wait,
so are we going to
but
have
it's
another football
worse
game?"
than that. If this guy knows,
Yeah.
the whole town knows that there's an alien problem, and they have alien detectors, and she knows about it, then how come last week when Hal Jordan was saying that guy's an alien, why was she saying no, he's not?
because she's the sheriff wizard. This is her town. She's not gonna let some Green Lantern
Wait.
scuff up her
What
moves.
are we doing?
This is
Unless-
her. She's the sheriff. This is her town.
So,
But why was she so surprised? She was
So that means
surprised.
that she either didn't know that there were alien things and she found that out screen in between episodes, or she didn't know and she was being retarded.
I hate mystery box shows because they're staggered like this to make you speculate about what it could be, and then you find out it's just, oh, well, some guy was taking a shit. He was sitting on the John while the alien guy snuck by.
I think it's speaking volumes of how, the aliens don't revert back to their original forms. Continuing off of this scene, so Hal Jordan gets shot by the sniper. We cut back to Jon Stewart, who's tied up, and the non-named aliens, who are also all disguised, they're all humans, basically is like, hey, we came to you because we trust you. We don't trust Hal Jordan. But there's a manhunter, and manhunters killed they killed our people.
They committed a Holocaust.
They committed a Holocaust. They literally say it. They literally say it. They did it to our world, and so we're here to do it. We're gonna give you 48 hours to find them, or else we're gonna blow up Nebraska.
Which is like,
Yeah, dude.
what? How is that
And
going
to
to
show-
solve your problem?
And to show you that we mean serious, they have a little like trank gun that they put to his
No,
head.
it's a Persona 3 gun.
It's a Persona 3 gun, and they make him
Persona
see
3 gun.
they make him see the devastation caused by the manhunters on their planet. So he knows that it's serious and that they really need to deal with the manhunters. And then they let him go. But we don't see it. We don't see
Yes.
exactly the devastation, which makes me think that they actually did not have a budget for this, and the very few shots that we had is where all of it went. It makes me think that they had a very limited funding for a certain amount of stuff, because you would think that we'd see what the aliens look like or what the devastation of this planet would look like. The fact that they're saving it for later on the line makes me think they did not. Makes me think that they had a bunch of money and they went, wait, you have to do it with this amount. We can't give you more.
All right. Okay, so that's a really good. Let's talk about that really quickly. Do you, in your humble opinions, we're 2 episodes in, do you think this show cost a ton of money? Because I have the projections here.
Oh, for sure.
Are we seeing the special effects on screen? Are we seeing massive
We're not.
CGI and special stuff happening?
We got that one space shot of Hal Jordan flying in space. That
Guys,
was
we got
could be done by a college student. This could have been shot by a college student. The shots that we're getting here. Okay, this show has a range of $10 to $15 million an episode. So we're looking at a range. The expectation is $80 to $100 million for the season. That's premier television. That's top budget, top of the line budget television right there.
you kind of don't have an excuse at that point because this has been in development for a little minute. When did they announced Green
it's-
Lantern? Was it
it's been in development
2020?
for a long time, dude.
It's been a long time since they announced Lanterns.
Yeah,
we have
heck
gotten.
yeah.
We've
Like
gotten
2022,
a-
23, was it? Around there?
It wasn't long after it was the announcement of the DCU, and then when it was that first wave of project announcements.
Yeah.
And then it was the second wave, and it was the second wave Lanterns was confirmed. And we got the photo of the 2 of them walking together from the first episode. It's been a long time.
I still think that I know exactly where this is going to go. These are going to end up being the bad guys. They're probably going to be like some alien race, or they might be the Red Lantern Corps, or they might be, they might be Sinestro's acolytes or something like that. It might be something like that, and they're trying to get the Manhunters because the Manhunters work for the Guardians or whatever. So, it's still going to end up where either way, one of these people are going to end up being the misunderstood villain.
It is very likely. It is very likely that the Manhunters are going to be the misunderstood ones. And they kind of talk about it. The idea is that it's like all it takes is one Manhunter to cause a cascading effect where they all do it. And that's where I don't know if it's either going down the route that the Manhunters are assimilating people or they're creating people to look like people, and the town is all Manhunters. And because they mentioned that it's like, oh, they created life by like some synthetic thing, so they're not people. So that is what this is setting up, and it's now going to be the question of, okay, is it the Manhunters are misunderstood? It's the aliens that are misunderstood. It's clearly not going to be that the people are misunderstood, because humans are always a problem. Yeah. So it's just going to be like, all right, pick your poison. Which version is the writer feeling today? Is it these aliens are good, or is it the other aliens are good?
Here's the problem, though. Jon Stewart gets a Persona 3 gun to the head. He starts seizing, and he's supposed to be experiencing the traumatic eradication holocaust, their words, of this alien species. And yet he gets up after that, and like there is no demeanor shift or change. He's not actually, like, he's not humbled by it. He's not changed by the experience. He's virtually the same. There is no difference before or after having the Persona 3 gun attack. You would think that he would get up and be like, we need to find the Manhunter now. I feel your pain. You have imprinted upon me, which is what they literally say. They say, we're going to imprint on you.
The only line we get of him having some form of traumatic experience of this is in the bar where he says he just, he needs to take a breath. That is the implication of him being like, whoa, when he goes to get a cup of coffee. Because she asks him, oh, is that what you need to get a breath for? And he's like, oh, no.
But we can't, but he should know their identities immediately.
Yeah,
if he's just seen everything about them, he should be more opened to it. So they cannot do a twist of this is actually the Sinestro Corps. You can't do that because he should know that they're Sinestro Corps.
Unless they showed him something that wasn't, exactly what they were saying it was, or it's like a gimmick. Like, that's the thing where it's like, you can't do this scene and then have him
with that
not
face
shift.
Right. Well, maybe the reason why they didn't show it to us is because it's not real. They made it up, and they're the villains.
But this is, again, a tell, don't show. Show us what he's seeing. Yes. But then they don't show us anything because he doesn't change his demeanor even a little bit. He doesn't change from this.
So if it was a tell, no show thing and his whole demeanor shifted, then I could understand why you didn't show it, because the emotion that he's showing is showing us how what he just watched was traumatic and it was changing. And that's why he's on the path of, we got to find this Manhunter. But he comes back up the exact same way.
It happened in episode 1 with them driving off. You don't see him make a construct. He just gets there and it's fine. But then it's the scene after this, because he's like, all right, I'm going to go do it. And the catch is, well, if you don't call us in 48 hours with the Manhunter, we're going to blow up Nebraska. Then we cut back to Hal Jordan, who's in the hospital, and he's all bandaged up with the sheriff.
I'm sorry. There's one more thing with that. Okay, so this group of aliens is saying this guy is saying to Jon Stewart, if you don't find the Manhunter in 48 hours, we're going to blow up Nebraska. So we're also terrorists that will commit a Holocaust, just like the Manhunters.
Well, it's going to save the planet because only a couple people. Whereas it would have been everybody.
Is that Nebraska?
We're going to do a genocide?
Nebraska was promised to them 3,000 years ago. All right, and they're just trying to. They're trying to make sure that they get their
But isn't this insane?
Yes,
it's insane. It's the Freckle Jesus thing, where it's like, we're not bad people, but you just blew up a whole hospital full of people,
innocent people.
You are bad. So he's
And
like,
then-
"Hey, do what we want, or else."
But we continue on with the we tell, we don't show, because it's always in the hospital.
Yes, and then
this
girl boss lady does more girl bossing.
but girl boss specifically
Even
goes,
has the glasses.
So who's this is the scene where she, well, so the core of this scene basically is, I'm the sheriff of this town, and you being here is making things harder because this place is about to explode and you're just adding to it, so you need to just take a step back and I'll call you in if I need to. And then Hal Jordan, instead of going, lady, I'm a Green Lantern and this is a planet-wide issue, this is a galactic issue, I need to do this, this is my job, he goes, okay, I understand.
Not, hey, there's aliens
Hey.
in your town and clearly your family is covering it up. We have to figure out what's going on. Yeah, you know what?
So
You got
so,
it.
So,
You got it.
so okay, just optics, right? Mass shooting just happened. You're the local sheriff. An explosion just happened at the police precinct. You're the local sheriff. You're finding out that they're like Hal Jordan, the intergalactic space cop, is here, and and he was just shot by your father-in-law's militia, and you're gonna say, "Hey, stop being a straight white man. It's girl bossing time."
Listen, a white woman is speaking.
Like of all the things that you need to be worried about, you're
Fine.
worried about or Hal Jordan walking around
Hey.
like
Kata, you would respect this? Could you tell me that this ideal didn't come up in like the military? The person who says they're the king is not the king. The person who says they're the leader, who has to tell you they're the leader, is a shit leader.
I can tell you with 100% certainty, everybody that walked around with the superiority complex that this has got ignored. Got ignored. Not only did you get ignored, you got made fun of to your face.
She brings up, because he asked, well, like, whose side are you on? Are you on with Macon or the aliens? And then she doubles back to it and she goes, I'm on my side.
Yes!
She literally says,
I'm on my side.
And then she brings up, so who's Sinestro? And he goes, where'd you hear that name?
How do you know that name?
Why did you say
said-
that name?
What
You
did
said
say
it in
that
your,
name?
you said it in your sleep. You said he, was your coworker, but he killed one of your bosses and he got locked up. So Hal Jordan just exposition dumps in his sleep? Is that what?
So the thing is, she looked up what happened. So there's things out there. So he's like, how do you know that name? It's like, well, obviously either you told somebody or somebody else told, because she just looked that shit up on her phone with her mom glasses. She's reading off the Sinestro War, pretty much.
Yep.
She's reading it off. She read
we
that
won't
off.
be
And
able
she's
to-
like,
The
keep it
Sinestro
your
War,
friend.
which was set up in the 2011 Green Lantern movie, and we were all hoping to see it, is once again not going to be seen in the next Green Lantern project.
Which would be
The
a
one
better
thing
show
Green Lantern
anyway.
fans want to see, we will never get.
It would be a better show. It would. Well, actually, no. It'd probably be the Sinestro War started because Sinestro was banging one of the Guardians, and they didn't want it to be public. And he's a sperm lover.
Something that they do say here is that Sinestro kills one of their bosses, implying one of the Guardians. And with the way that this show is going, we are very likely going to have a Sinestro was right storyline.
Yep.
It is
gonna
very.
happen.
We're getting it. It is currently unfolding because I don't want to. I don't want to cut, but that's the Hal goes to Sinestro to find out about the Manhunters, and that's a
That's
whole
what's going to
thing.
happen. That's
And
why
he tells
he's
him
going to
that the
betray
black
the
guy
court.
is his enemy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the second biggest of your
that's
problems.
the second biggest threat. Your first one is the
Is that black dude?
You know what I feel like they're gonna end up doing, especially with how what's the lantern who dies name isn't Adam Sir? What is it?
Abin Sur. Yeah.
Abin Sur. I feel like they're gonna do some stupid like Qui-Gon Jinn Dooku thing where they were good friends, and then Sinestro finds out that about what the Guardians did, and then Adam Sur's death is what made him turn. I feel like that's the route we're gonna
That's
go.
what's
for
going to
with
happen.
him.
They're going to
Yeah.
ruin Abin Sur, and they're going to make him a bad guy.
Yes.
That's what's going to happen. That's why he died.
Or it's going to be the reverse of it's the Guardians were the reason why he was killed, and now that's why Sinestro went against them, and that's why Sinestro knows about the Manhunters is because he knows how truly evil the Guardians were to kill them.
Either
Now,
way, he's going to be seen as he was right all along.
Now, we do know that Jon Stewart is going to be in Man of Tomorrow, and he's going to be the Green Lantern. But what that means, likely, is that we're dealing with a Ghost Rider situation where Jon Stewart is going to be, I'm better than all of you. Like, I'm going to reformat the Green Lantern Corps of its corruption and, like, give this ring meaning again. You know what I mean?
Like, gotten to Grandma Lot Lizard today.
We haven't
yet.
gotten a Lot Lizard too. So she because she's got him handcuffs. Like, all right, if you gotta back off, let me do my thing. And he's like, okay, I will. And then they're leaving, and then they make a point to show there's no other names on the call sheet on the hospital. There's no one in the hospital.
Nobody.
All
in
of
the
the equipment
empty.
is. All of the equipment is still bagged, which is setting up that there are no humans in this town.
Yeah, that everybody's an alien.
Pretty much. That's what they're getting with. Like, he's looking like, what the f? Like, you just got MRI machines and everything going on. Like, what's going on here? I'm telling you, it's going to end up where this is a refuge for these aliens, and everybody here is either going to be one of two things. The aliens are in charge, right? And there's going to be like very few humans that are here, but they know that these aliens are in charge and they're cool with it, right? And they're under the protection of these aliens. And or there is only one alien, and they're being harbored by the JD Vance guy. And it's gonna turn out to be the grandma.
Grandma's an alien.
She's an
There's
alien.
no way she's
sure.
not.
Either way,
especially with the scene that is up next. And so Jon Stewart finally, after traveling and flying and somehow I don't know how he got the bird through TSA. You think TSA would allow a green magical bird to get on that plane? No, they'd shut down the whole airport.
He put it in his
right.
pocket. They couldn't see it because it's a construct.
So he goes, he gets a cup of coffee, and just so happens that Lot Lizard Grandma is the only other person at this cafe.
That's right.
She's just magically everywhere. He orders a cup of coffee, and then he eventually
did not learn
goes.
his lesson.
She invites him over. It's like, the booths are comfy. He's like, I just need to take a breath. And then he goes over, and this scene is some of the worst dialogue I have heard in a series.
Yeah.
Jon Stewart kind of asks, what's the situation? Kind of sounding like if he could get in, if it was a polycule. It sounds like he was trying to get in.
Yeah, he's trying to get in on it.
He's trying to figure out what the dynamic is between Lot Lizard Grandma and
what was the word? Is this
grandfather?
What you do? Or y'all you got this kind
So-
of relationship? It's like
But we need to cue this up a little bit better because he doesn't have any kind of real relationship with this woman. They met at a bar a couple of nights ago. They hooked up in the car, and then that was it.
and
So
he
this
found out that it's
conversation
somebody
here
else's wife, by the way.
found out that it was somebody else's wife. Then
Somebody
we
else's
get to this conversation
grandma.
here. And Jon Stewart hits her with one of the cringiest white guy lines, which is along the lines of like, I think you know what you're like. I think you're smarter than everybody else. It's like, I think you know what you're doing. Like you're better than everybody else. You don't know this woman. All you know is she's a grandma that steps out on her husband. End of list.
And then he tried to make it seem like the husband was like this like weirdo cuck, He's like, oh, so you do this often, I don't think you really love him, blah 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 blah. And she's like, oh no, I love my husband.
First she brings up that she's with him for the security of being with a white man.
A white
who can
man with power.
They could do anything. They could be cowboys. They could build castles. It's because of it's because of that. And then it cues him into because she basically talks bad about him, and then he continues about it, and she's like, oh well, I do love him though. Yeah, I love him. But I do sleep around because, he's bad because they're evil. But I love him.
It was such a modern interaction.
It was lots of modern day-isms. He's a simp cuck for this woman, and he wants in on whatever it is that she's putting out. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, what was it? White men have the privilege of being eccentric. That was her.
That is the like you may not have watched this and be thinking like, oh, maybe we're generalizing. No, they specifically say white men. Like that
White
is the
men
line.
have the privilege of being eccentric. Yep, that was her line. It turned into a white privilege thing and a gender thing as well, because she also mentioned her being a woman as well. She wouldn't be able to do the kind of things that she wanted to. you know, if she wasn't with this white man and if she was a woman, you know. So it's like, you know, more modernity, more modernity, more deconstruction, more hatefulness, you know. It's just like, hey, but you know, if she had said, you know, black men have the privilege of doing whatever they want without consequence, you know, then they'd be like, oh, well, what do you mean by that? You know, so it's just like it's very weird. It's very weird that we keep doing this racist thing.
And
Now-
then she makes the joke about, well, where's your white guy?
Yeah, she does say that.
Yeah.
She literally says that.
Yeah, where's your white guy in reference to Hal Jordan? I still think this is going to turn out to... Again, we're in episode 2. We're not there yet at the end, and we don't know how things are going to shake out, but I still think this is going to turn out to be a J.D. Vance, Usha Vance allegory. That's kind of where they're leading with. This is very... I mean, they literally have the guy talking about colonization and immigration. There's an immigration allegory in there. There's the ICE allegory that could be made here. I really think this is going to turn out to be a J.D. Vance thing. They're literally dunking on white people in this conversation about how corrupt and evil like this guy is. Like she's stepping out on him and all, and it's specifically framed in a way to emasculate him, to emasculate the Macon. So who, as of right now, has killed some aliens. Like that's pretty much it. I mean, that's what we got going on. We've got a mass shooting. We got aliens. Some dead are dead.
All right, but yeah, let's shotgun this shit.
There is something. Chat said it, and I completely forgot. The sheriff directly mentions trying to avoid having Macon cause an insurrection.
Yes.
You can't tell me this isn't a
Yes.
Vance allegory now.
Yes.
You're right.
Which
You're right.
which ties to what I said earlier, in that I think we are going to get a Gaston-esque scene of grab your pitchforks and knives.
Yeah.
That's where it's going to be they're going to fully button that suit up of being like, oh yes, you know what this is supposed to be.
Yeah. It's gonna be a JD Vance MAGA anti people whatever.
Well, there's
it is.
no way you can even refute it just off of what they said in this episode. You know, just how they start talking about the gender and race thing. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they went that way.
It's so on the nose that they would have an Usha Vance allegory talking about eccentric white people and how she's not, oh, I love my husband, but I'm stepping out on him.
Now it doesn't make more sense now after this episode. All right, they had the guy in the first episode and they were interrogating him. They didn't trust Hal Jordan. But you'd think that, like, okay, if he's still the Green Lantern, though, why would have the alien went straight to, well, I'm just going to blow up this town?
What do you mean?
Like, if his whole thing was that it's like, I'm here to find the Manhunter, wouldn't blowing up the town still not, like, you're making it worse for you? The likelihood of that getting the Manhunter is, like it was that whole scene was just dumb now.
Everything about the show is dumb.
But also, like, okay, if they didn't trust Hal Jordan, it would still be like, hey, well, you're Green Lantern, you need to do, like, especially with the whole vengeance thing, like, it just doesn't, none of it makes sense.
All it did was put the alien on high alert to hide. That's all you did.
Look, all I know is if I was trying to, like, script to do this solo, again, I would have had a stroke by now. This is not, you are not meant to actually have real explanations to this. Like mystery box, the way that they're writing this mystery boxing crap is meant to drive you insane, because then you find out it was meaningless. So you were all excited. Haha, it was there was nothing behind it. It's a veneer of stories.
You know what? It also doesn't have good rewatchability. You know what I mean? Like, say what you want about True Detective, right? Like, yeah, it was one of those things where it was a mystery and you're trying to figure out the overarching thing, but every episode still had its way of being contained while still pushing the plot forward of the overarching mystery that's happening right now, you know? Also, like, the best example I can think of is Daredevil, where Daredevil, every single episode is a bottle episode, but it still ties into the grander scheme of what is happening. You know, like, you could rewatch that show again and again and again. Even OG Game of Thrones, you can watch it again and again because it's bottle episodes that tell you good writing. But it also, like, the story of the episode is all good, but it ties into the overarching story. This is just, the only way to make this have any kind of logical sense in order for it to actually be good is if you watch it all at once and it all somehow ties together. But just based off of what we're seeing so far, it's not going to. Like, you can't even get something that you established right at the beginning of your episode. hey, keep the bird alive if you concentrate. And then you have the nigga pass out 4 times. That doesn't make any sense. It's
Also,
like the
all for them to be
Acolyte.
like, he doesn't have to concentrate because he's just powerful. Like, he's
God,
that
fuck
powerful.
off.
He didn't need to concentrate like
So
you.
stupid. It's like the Acolyte, where it's like, oh, you know, a Jedi cannot be killed by blah 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 blah. But literally at the beginning of the episode, you killed a Jedi that way. It's like, dude, these people don't. I don't think they think 5 steps ahead. I really don't think they do that, bro. I don't think they look at any kind of logical thing. Like, I don't think they do it. I
No,
don't
this
think they do it.
is so it's just bad. It is bad.
Like, no, this scene is a perfect example.
Yes.
He brought the suit, right? Just to bring the suit. But it turns
Yes.
out him bringing the suit was necessary for what Hal Jordan does next. So if he hadn't brought the suit, would Hal Jordan have just, went in his plain clothes or something like that? Like, no, it's because he brought the suit. So had he not brought the suit, like, what the... And wait, you know what, whatever. Wait, no, I have
You do
to
it.
mention it.
Yeah.
Because he goes, "Oh, where did you hear that word? You know, the manhunter thing, right?" And it's seeming like he knows who the manhunters are. But no, you go to Sinestro to figure out what they are. You know, so it's like, why were you so giddy and weird about it? Like when he said manhunters, if you don't even know who they are for real. What is it? Just like bedtime stories that the lanterns tell each other?
I think that scene of him saying it is because it's like, okay, only even if someone like Hal only knows this little, how does this guy know who's only worn the ring twice now? How did you hear the word manhunters? Because now clearly something had to have been intercepted, but it still is that whole the dialogue that comes from that is dumb. So this scene basically is Hal's sitting outside with his arm, and then
Because he was shot.
and Lot Lizard drops off. He drops him off.
I'm surprised he didn't do a joke like, "Did you hit that again?" Like I was expecting that. You know, I was expecting Hal Jordan to do a Hal Jordan joke, and he doesn't do it. So the one moment where you could have had him go, "Hey, did you fuck that lady again? You didn't do it. Good job."
Well, we don't know. Drove him home. We don't
So
know what happened
now-
in between then.
So there's a little bit of a tiff here where Jon Stewart is like, yeah, I'm back, and what's the deal with the Manhunters? And there are some aliens here that are going to blow up Nebraska. We have 48 hours. And Hal Jordan says, 48 hours? And Jon Stewart goes, yeah, 48 hours. Okay, cool. I brought your suit. Yeah, that's dumb. They shot me. Okay, that's also dumb. I was able to keep the little birdie active for the entire time, by the way. And you know, they told me I was special, but from you, I can't even get a hoorah. That's literally a line.
And then he gives
He
That's
and then he gives-
literally a
that.
line.
He literally
he-
said that.
He gives a sarcastic hoorah. Something that also happens is he quickly shotguns doing the recharge sequence where he literally rushes through it. There is no time to do like this cool scene of him recharging it, of him saying the oath.
Well, no, because they're mocking it, Tom.
They're
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
that-
They're
I'm- but that's what
literally
I'm-
mocking it.
We couldn't. Also, the design for the lantern is
power
so
battery
stupid
is
looking.
terrible.
The power battery is
Yeah,
terrible.
It looks weird. It looks like
it
one of
looks-
those old lanterns. It doesn't look cool.
It looks something that you'd get at like one of the parks. It looks worse than what they would have at Six Flags.
Yeah, it looks like a Six Flags toy. Like you'd buy it at Six Flags. Like it looks like cheapy plastic.
I think it's worse than that. But he quickly shotguns it. It could have again. There are moments in this where it would be in an actual good show. It would be like, oh, this is the scene of like the two connecting, because you think he'd actually show him, oh, this is how you recharge the ring. This is the does Jon Stewart even know the oath?
No. Well, we don't know.
Who knows?
They haven't
It's a
confirmed
mystery
if
box.
he does or not. It's a mystery box.
You know, you're supposed
Don't
to
ask
have theories
questions.
and things. You know.
But
Don't
but-
ask
so-
questions. Consume product.
So they go off to bed, but then Hal Jordan quickly puts the suit on, and he shoots into space, and he goes to space prison, and he goes and he talks to Sinestro. Goes to space prison, and he's like, Sinestro, tell me everything you know about the Manhunters. And Sinestro's like, oh, not even a hello? How are you? And then he's like, hey, how are you? Now tell me the F about the Manhunters. And it's supposed to be this, oh, he's talking back to him, and it's cool, but it is like a 12-year-old wrote it of like, and then he says the F word back to him. Oh, like that
And then
is.
Sinestro goes,
and
yeah,
then-
but you should be worried about that black dude.
Yeah, and that's the episode, man. We end
That's
off
episode 2, baby.
We
That's
end
it.
off with Hal Jordan and Sinestro looking like they have some history that the show is probably not even going to make as interesting as it should be, because this is a pretty good dynamic between these two characters. And yeah, there it is.
They're boyfriend,
Yeah,
boyfriend.
That's it. That's the episode. That's episode 2.
That's episode
Which for some
2.
reason people are saying this show is good. I just want somebody who watches the show and you're a normie to use any bit of critical thinking for once. Like, we showed that Hal Jordan is an idiot. He had a metal pipe, a tire iron, and he walks up and pulls off the plastic part of his car to walk through a metal detector. The show is stupid, dude. It's dumb. It really
It's trashy dog poo, man. There's just,
It's
I mean,
dumb.
literally, the suits look like doo-doo. So that's
don't
it,
know.
dude.
I don't know how somebody's watching this going, this show's so good. Oh my god. Hey, later. Hey, they're
It's-
cooking.
It is the
My wife's
the indi-
boyfriend says that this is really good.
It is the individual who was gifted the Nintendo Switch 2 by their wife's boyfriend. It is the individual who is full neckbeard and seal clapped at the Gotham joke. It is
Oh, yeah, we forgot,
we know
Sheriff
who
Lady.
likes this.
Sheriff Lady also said she was from Gotham. Clap for
Yeah.
reference. They brought
Which
up
means that
Mogo.
she's
Clap
not an
for
alien. If
Yeah.
she's from Gotham, it's less likely that she's an alien.
Yeah, and that's why she's so afraid, because she knows about the aliens. But it's like, oh, you're from Gotham, you know, and they didn't even mention Batman. Why the fuck would you even bring that up?
Because Clayface is active in Gotham, bro. We don't need Batman. We got Clayface over in Gotham. It's all good. It's all good, man.